Hi guys, so today I have something to show you which I bought from the Brighton Tattoo Convention, which I went to this weekend. Aside from the obvious sort of tattoo artist stalls, there was also a kind of retail section which was full of stalls from different kind of online stores. So each stall kind of laid out a variety of the kind of things that they sell in their shops. There were taxidermy ones, there were jewellery stores, and there was also loads of clothing ones. Due to the fact that they were at the convention, also the prices were slightly cheaper than if you do buy them offline. I did end up buying some Iron Fist clothing and some make your own porcelain dolls. The stall I got them from were advertising their site, I think it's called Bedasaurus, I'll just put it over here somewhere, and the store sells like Killstar, Restyle. They do a lot of kind of tattoo based products. They do loads of cushions, loads of jewellery. They just do a really good variety of things. I'd say it's quite similar to Attitude Clothing, which is one of my favourite online stores, and since I found out about them I've been on their website so many times and found so many different things I want to buy. So if you've seen the collective haul that I did while I was on holiday in Norfolk, you may have seen me show you some tattoo playing cards, and the dolls are from the same company. Now I've searched the internet like high and low to find out what the actual make of these are, because I really like this kind of range and style. Actually the only kind of brand name that's on here is just the word tattoo, which is on all of their products, and all of the products has this kind of like Victorian tattoo theme to it, and they always feature the old sort of like original tattooed lady and strongman. So as it may be obvious, I did get two of them, and they do only make two different dolls. They do the strongman doll and also the tattooed lady. Now the tattoos aren't exactly the same as the original tattoos, but I feel like some of them are slightly based off of the ones that the original people had. I was just going to buy the lady one, but then I thought the guy looked really cool as well, so I did end up buying both of them, and together they cost me £24, so they were £12 each. I think on the website they may be £12.99, but the shipping is really cheap as well, so really the price difference isn't that much. So inside the box, it has all of it sectioned off, and you get loads of different pieces inside. So you get a bag full of stuffing. This is some of the leftover stuff. You also get a really big sort of sheet of material, which is this kind of colour. It's kind of like an off-white colour. It does kind of look like skin in a weird way. And then sectioned off in all of these were different body parts. You get 2 legs, 2 arms and a head, and then you also get a sewing pattern. The material you get is quite sort of a high quality. It's quite thick. The only thing is when you do cut it, it does sort of come apart really easily. The only thing that you need extra for this set is you do need some scissors, a needle and lots of thread. So the sewing pattern just comes on a piece of A4 paper, and you just cut out all the separate parts. This was the one for the tattooed lady, so I just cut round the body and then I pinned it to the material and cut round it, and then obviously you've also got her legs and her arms. It does kind of sound complicated, but honestly it was like the easiest thing to do. The only thing I'd say about this sewing pattern is this is meant to be the arm, but I'll just show you on the leg. It's meant to wrap around and become a leg and then slot into the porcelain, but I much prefer this more tidy version of having the porcelain actually inside the material, so you don't see kind of like the harsh outside of the porcelain. So I did make mine slightly bigger than this, and I just gave her slightly wider legs, and it meant that it looked a lot more tidy in my opinion. I will insert a picture now of what they intend it to look like, but mine is just kind of opposite way around. When you make these dolls, they are sort of naked as such. They don't come with any clothing, but I have given mine some clothing. So when they are finished, it does just kind of look quite plain like this. I will again insert another photo now of what my dolls looked like when they were just plain. I did have a slight issue with my strongman doll. I had him in the box, and well, I had him in the box when he was in pieces, and I opened the box the wrong way round and his arm fell out and smashed. So this arm is like fully glued back together. The cracks though aren't really that noticeable, and the actual tattoos, which are on the both arms and both legs, the sleeves, and there's also one on his neck which isn't as visible just because of the way I sewed it. they're all sort of applied with a film, so you have, it's almost like you have like plain skin and they've applied like a plastic film around it, but it does look really neat and really tidy. He does also come with some sort of painted on socks, and the tattooed lady comes with some painted shoes or kind of like ankle shoe socks. So when I was sewing these, it did say that you had to glue all of the limbs and the head to the actual material, but they do have these tiny little holes. I'll see if I can find one to show you. So they do have like a hole like this on each side of the neck, and the same for the legs and arms. And I think this is just how they were made. Like, I think it was just to aid the making process. It's not meant to be anything to do with the sewing. But I don't know how I can see, but I've actually put a piece of cotton all the way through and then back again, and that's how I secured the neck and the arms, just by putting string through the holes. Again, I thought this would just look so much more neat than if you just glued it, and the glue would also give it a kind of like rough feeling. So although it kind of means that there's a lot more sort of visible stitching, I do think this just adds to the kind of overall look of this porcelain doll. The porcelain itself is a really, really high quality, and a lot of effort has been put into painting these dolls. I did personalise mine. I don't particularly like the hair of the lady one, but I don't mind the man's one so much. But there's not really much I could do to alter this. But for the lady, I kind of gave her a bit of eyeliner. I also gave her some black lipstick. She did have really sort of thin red lips on. I did also give her kind of a beauty mark and a nose piercing, and the same with the man. I gave him a nose piercing. It's only tiny, and then I also altered his moustache and gave him a piercing on his ear. So I did just do this using nail varnish and a pin. His moustache was pretty like flat, and then I just kind of curled it up at the side. It's really easy to alter the whole appearance of these dolls just by adding a tiny little bit of black nail varnish. And then of course I did also paint the lady's nails black. So when these dolls are in their like original state and how they're meant to look when they're made, they do look quite conservative. There's nothing much that makes them stand out other than their obvious like tattoos. But I just felt like I personalised mine slightly by adding some more features to the way they look, as well as just their clothing. So the clothing I made out of like old rags and bits of my clothing that no longer fitted me, or that had holes in it, or just wasn't wearable anymore. So round the neck of the doll I have this tiny little sequin choker that I just sewed at the front and the back. Then I made this tiny little silver necklace out of just a piece of thread and some silver beads. And then she has a kind of like undershirt on, which is completely lace, and I feel like from a distance it does kind of have like a fishnetty kind of appearance to it. And this was just made out of an old lace skirt that I had. I then made a sort of underskirt out of an old shirt I had, which had this nice sort of trim on it. So I thought that looked really pretty, but like normal human clothes, the black didn't match, and it did really annoy me because of this kind of washed out colour. So I added this on top of it, which is kind of just some old leggings I had. It's a bit kind of like wonky, but I think it kind of gives it a sort of tulipy look. As strange as that sounds, I just like the way it's like layered. And then again, this bit is made out of some tights, which I made a little corset out of the back with some string and some little jewellery loops. And then I've sewed some green shiny beads all around the top of this kind of corset thing, and I made a little sort of belt around the corset with this little flowery trim, and again I've put the same green beads inside the flowers. And then to finish it off, I just got a piece of black ribbon and I sort of tied it. It's almost like in a 1920s looking bow at the back, and then out of the same material as her choker, the same sequiny sort of string, I just made a tiny little bracelet. Because the dress is kind of partly sewed to her, I can't fully take it off, but this is just kind of what it looks like underneath. As you can see, it's pretty rough, but when I was sewing it, I did know I was going to be putting clothes on her and things, so I knew that this wouldn't even be visible. So the man is slightly more simple. He's got some sort of shorts on that I made out of the same shirt that I made the underskirt for the lady out of. Although it again doesn't really match, I felt like it does look quite good for shorts. And I have sewn them more for him to be sitting down rather than standing up. That's why it does look quite bunchy. And then I've sort of rolled them up at the bottom just so that you can see the legs. I did want to make him full trousers, but I felt like this kind of defeats the point of having a tattooed porcelain doll. And then underneath this little waistcoat, which is actually sewn in, I just took a section of some quite thick tights and just cut the foot off and put it over and cut them again. And then I used ribbon to go around the top to look like a collar. And then I cut the leg in half and put one half each on the sleeves and again rolled them up slightly. The waistcoat is a tiny bit messy, but I quite like the way it looks. And this is the bottom of a quite thick sort of cottony skirt I had, and I just cut it into a waistcoat sort of shape and just sewed it to him. And then I've used the same green beads for buttons down the waistcoat, and then the buttons down the shirt are these silver beads which I used for the silver necklace. I haven't given him any sort of like physical jewellery accessories, but as I said, I have put a little nose piercing and an earring in his ear. Those are the two porcelain dolls which I made. This was quite a fun little project to do. It did take me about a day to make both of them, but it was definitely a fun sort of different thing to do on a day off. So when I saw these, I thought that they were perfect, and I feel like £12 is actually a really reasonable price for the quality of the materials you're given to make these dolls. And I do think that they would look quite nice like individually, but just because of the whole theme and how sort of original these look, I feel like they look perfect sort of together as a couple. I have been trolling the internet to find some other things like this, but really these are the only kind of make your own porcelain dolls which I found which are in this style. And I just love how sort of easy and simple all the instructions for making these were. I do know with some kind of make your own things, such as I did a make your own bear once, it's so complicated and there's so many steps until you actually get any kind of finished product, whereas this was just cut out, sew this, sew this, sew this, glue this, and it was done. I will link down below the shop which you can buy these from if you do want to buy some offline, and then you can also get, I think you can get the playing cards from there and a few other products which are from this tattoo company. As I said, they weren't overly expensive and the quality is amazing, so I definitely would recommend these to anyone who wants a little craft project to do, or know someone who likes to do little projects which don't sort of take your full brain power, which you can kind of do while you're watching television or talking. It's just kind of like an almost like mindless activity to do, but you get something really cool from it. Thank you so much for watching. I know that this probably won't appeal to too many people, but for those who do like dolls and also sort of DIY and customizing things, I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you've got any comments or questions about these dolls or anything to do with the tattoo convention, please do leave them below. I have done a really short video about the tattoo convention, so that was the last thing I uploaded on this channel, so make sure you check that out. I have got a few videos coming up. I do have an Iron Fist haul. It is just 2 Iron Fist dresses. This is one of them, and I also have a Etsy haul coming up, and it's gonna take me a long time to film because it's to do with bath bombs and I have to try them all out, so I'm not gonna have sort of like 20 baths in one day, so it may take me a week or so to film it all. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!